I leant upon a coppice gate when frost was spectre grey, and winter's dregs made desolate the weakening eye of day. The tangled vine stems scored the sky like strings of broken lyres, and all mankind that haunted nigh had sought their household fires. The land's sharp features seemed to be the century's corpse outlent, his crypt the cloudy canopy, the wind his death lament. The ancient pulse of germ and birth was shrunken hard and dry, and every spirit upon earth seemed fervorless as I. At once a voice arose among the bleak twigs overhead, in a full-hearted evensong of joy illimited. An aged thrush, frail, gaunt and small, in blast-beruffled plume, had chosen thus to fling his soul upon the growing gloom. Some little cause for carolings of such ecstatic sound was written on terrestrial things afar or nigh around, that I could think there trembled through his happy good-night air some blessed hope, whereof he knew, and I was unaware. Like Hardy's Christmas poem, The Oxen, the Darkling thrush talks about hope. In The Oxen, hope was internalised. The poet no longer believes in the tales told at Christmas time, but he would like to believe. If he was told that the animals were all kneeling in honour of Jesus' birth, he would hope that it was true. The Darkling thrush is a more sombre poem, in the sense that Hardy finds no hope in his own heart and initially feels that every spirit upon earth is as fervorless, as lacking in positive feelings, in passion, as he himself is. Seeing the thrush on that cold wintry day, hearing it sing so full-heartedly, Hardy does not feel hope inside himself, but instead wonders whether perhaps the thrush knows something that he doesn't, has some reason for being hopeful, some cause for singing so ecstatically. The first stanza of the poem places the poet in a dreary winter landscape. Hardy sketches the scene with the minimum number of words. There's the coppice, an area of managed woodland, the frost, and the gate with the poet leaning on it. The natural landscape brings various things to Hardy's mind. The first one is expressed in the form of a simile. The tangled vine stems scored the sky like strings of broken lyres. The lyre is a musical instrument, but broken, it can make no music. The vine stems, that is the long, thin stems of hazel or other similar trees and bushes, score the sky, which suggests a musical score, but there is no music, which adds a sense of purposelessness and even oppression to the tangled branches. The only little bit of comfort this first stanza offers us is the household fires, to which everyone, except the poet himself, has retreated. In the second stanza, the similes continue, this time using seemed instead of like. The land's sharp features seemed to be the century's corpse outlent. Hardy wrote this poem in 1899, but he did not publish it until December 1900. So he's talking about what he calls the corpse of the 19th century. It's not unusual for people to speak of winter as the dead end of the year, and the idea of the century dying is fairly commonplace. But the metaphor of the end of the century as an actual corpse makes a powerful image, anticipated by the spectre-grey frost in the first stanza and reinforced by the cloudy canopy crypt and the death lament of the wind. The barren landscape becomes a symbol of the bleakness of the age, and it's all tied up with the imagery of death. Often The harsh, lifeless world of winter is softened by the thought that spring will come, but Hardy doesn't offer us that relief. The ancient pulse of germ and birth was shrunken hard and dry. There seems to be no consolation to be found anywhere. And then the sound of a thrush breaking into song changes the atmosphere utterly. In appearance, the bird is frail, gaunt and small, in blast-beruffled plume, much as we would expect of a wild creature struggling to survive in those harsh conditions, and yet it sings a song of joy illimited. In the previous stanza, every spirit upon earth seemed fervorless. But this little bird has chosen to fling its soul out through its song into the darkening world. From Hardy's point of view, there's nothing to be cheerful about. The landscape, the dying century it represents in his mind, everything is filled with gloom, a gloom that only deepens as night draws on. And yet, this little bird, with his happy good-night air, seems to know something that Hardy doesn't. It seems to know that there is cause for hope. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and if you want and are able to give practical support, join as a channel member.